everybody should understand that this is not assistance for Ukraine or help for Ukraine. This is investment of the Great Britain, investment of the United States in your own security.
Mr. Poroshenko won a landslide victory in 2014 in a snap election following the annexation of Crimea. He's been in politics for 26 years and is the leader of the European Solidarity Party. He joins us now from Kyiv.
Thank you very much indeed for the invitation.
Mr. Poroshenko, it's a pleasure to have you on Frontline. Thank you very much for your time. Can you just start by telling us what the mood is like there in Kyiv since the news that finally, after months of waiting, the US has approved this $61 billion aid package for Ukraine?
Look, as a fifth president of Ukraine and as a former commander-in-chief of Ukrainian Armed Forces, have a long experience for cooperation with the US, Great Britain, and NATO. I have personally no doubt that at the end of the day, the package for the military assistance will be make this decision delivered to Ukraine. Not everybody share my views, and I think that Ukraine already paid a very high price for this 6 months delay. This is not just a situation on the front line because we keep the front, but the lives of Ukrainian soldiers and the lives of Ukrainian civilians, because me as a person who were every single week on the front line, delivering every week dozens of the military truck, of the all necessary assistance, electronic warfare system, UAV, and many others, I see with my own eyes what does it mean to protect Ukraine, to stop Russian offensive operation without one single artillery shell. Believe me, it's very difficult to imagine what does it mean and how we try to replace absence of the artillery shell to the FPV drones, to the some mines and anything like that. For us, this is the vital. Second message is that everybody should understand that this is not assistance for Ukraine or help for Ukraine. This is investment of the Great Britain, investment of the United States in your own security. And I want to use this opportunity to deliver my words of the gratitude to the British Prime Minister, a friend of mine and a friend of Ukraine, Rishi Sunak. Last time we met him when we signed the security guarantees from Great Britain during his visit to Kyiv, and now he's in Poland. And use these words of the gratitude to our American partners for their bipartisan support. For us, now this is a question of life, but for you, this is also the question of your life. And please help us to do your job. And now I'm significantly more optimistic. We expected that within 1 week, we will receive the first package of the American artillery shell. We very much welcome the European initiative leading by the Czech President Petr Pavel, also a friend of mine, who planned to deliver more than 1 million artillery shell. And this is existential fighting for all free and democratic world.
Because as part of the good news announcements this week was Rishi Sunak, the British Prime Minister's announcement that £500 million in aid would be made available for Ukraine. President Biden has said this would keep Ukraine in the fight. Don't you want it to do more than that? Don't you want it to help Ukraine win? Don't you want enough for that?
From my own experience, believe me, weapon is never enough. For me, for country, for soldier. But this has significantly increased this defensive capability now for us. And if you ask me what we need more, what else we need, this is a 3-component. Component number 1, weapons, artillery shell, jet fighter, anti-aircraft and anti-missile complex. As an air, we need that. Definitely, we need the long-range missile, and I'm proud that the first long-range missile, Storm Shadow, was from Great Britain, even before the Pentagon and French delivered to us. It's forever will stay for our heart. But we need the modern technology, because the better it would be equipped Ukrainian troops, the higher price Russia will pay for that. Point number 2, sanction. Sanction, because we need to cut the ability of Putin to finance the war. And if 2 years ago Russia has a $600 billion export revenue, we need to cut it to maximum 200. And with that situation, definitely, this is another mechanism of pressure on Russia to stop the war, not touching the standard of living for the ordinary people in Russia. And point number 3, this is the obligatory membership of Ukraine in NATO. Because without Ukrainian membership in NATO, it would be simply impossible to reach the sustainable security situation on the continent. And not opening the door of NATO for Ukraine is just delivery to the Putin message that his blackmail is working. And the world is afraid in Russia. We in Ukraine, during this more than 2 years of war, just demonstrate how we need to speak with Russia, because Putin understands only one language, not Russian, not German, and not English. This is language of strength. And exactly 2 years ago, when Russian troops was from here, 5 kilometers, and me together with my team, here was 2,000 people of 2 battalions. And we staying, open the fire, stopping Russia, and defend Kyiv, defend Ukraine, defend Europe, and defend the world.
And we are where we are now. And again, there is pressure to have enough soldiers, to raise enough soldiers to sustain the recruitment, to continue the war effort. What is your response at the moment to this temporary ban on issuing new passports and not providing non-emergency consular services to Ukrainian men of fighting age abroad?
During the first couple of months, it was, as I told you, only here in this yard, it was 2,000 volunteers. And it was long line for several hours in the employment center of the armed forces, volunteers who want to join the army. And now we have all these volunteers still on the battlefield, on the touchline with Russia. We need more manpower in the armed forces. And my purpose is just to help to create the motivation for the soldiers of Ukraine to be on the front line.
You've been watching Frontline for Times Radio. My thanks to Louis Sykes, our producer. To support the work of Frontline, hit the subscribe button. You can also listen to Times Radio throughout the day or read it at times.co.uk. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.